I'm going to start my setup on the shaper for doing the internal key on that coupling. And what I've decided to do is I want to use my 8-inch Kurt vise, which is on the K&T mill right now. I believe these slots will line up where you hold it down with the studs. I believe it'll sit right here. And I'm thinking that vise, either one of the Kurt vices, is going to allow me to position the vise so that I can have the workpiece closer to the back of the table. Like I said before, this configuration just won't work. So instead of rotating the table, I had originally thought I was going to mount it down here and just rotate it, but there's no reason for that. I can easily just loosen this vise off and pick it up and move it off the table. And this is the same size as far as the length as the side of the table here. So I'm just going to set the Kurt right on top of this area here. Well, my guesstimation was right, and I can use both of the original studs for the vise to hold it on there, and I can position this thing anywhere on this table that I want. I've got it at a comfortable position so that the ramways are actually not going back up inside the wipers. That was one of the things that I was trying to eliminate there. So that's going to work out pretty good. This particular vise right there, if I was to use the D688 Kurt, I would have to clamp it in a different way or making some kind of mount to be able to reach out to the studs. So I've got it kind of positioned right there where it needs to be, and I'm just watching the stroke here. So I think that's going to work out real good right here. So we'll get it clamped in, and I'll probably just do some indicating on the back of the coupling to make sure that it's square with the bore. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's tighten it down. All right, that looks pretty square. Tighten up this vise. I just reset that last segment I showed you. I put some taller parallels in here and I got it re-squared just because of clearance issues here. This is what I always run into with setting this stuff up. I've got plenty of clearance now. You can see right up underneath here, and that's the furthest it's going to go. But I just wanted to have a little bit of extra clearance here for our depth, and I can raise this up some so that I got more clearance here too. But I just want to point that out. This is what you always got to pay attention to when you're setting this thing up. I got some advice from Bill Ashcraft over at 5 Star Machine on the tools that he uses, because he does quite a few of these internal keys over his shop in his shaper. So he showed me the two tools that he uses, and what he's got is an Acme tool, or what's shaped just like an Acme tool. So he roughs out the keyway with a tool like this. So this is one that I ground up just for the shaper here. This is a piece of Rex 49 high-speed steel. Got a honed edge there, nice and sharp. And he does not put any back relief or side relief on that, or back rake, I mean, should I say. It's just going to be a neutral rake tool. And then to clean up the sides and to clean up the bottom, he uses a tool like this. It looks like a grooving tool. He's got the center of it relieved right on the nose of the tool, so that you've only got 2 edges there that's cutting. And he says as you go across the part, that actually cleans up the tool marks. with it like that. So it's relieved here so that you're only, once you plunge the side and you feed in, it clears the side right here. So it gets thinner as this cutting edge goes down. This is a piece of Brex 95 here, high speed. And I've got them home nicely. So this is what we're gonna try. We'll start off with this guy right here and get in there and rough it out. You know, go side to side, rough it out. And then once we get it close, I'll see if I can get it finished out with this tool right there, plunging each side, and then going cleaning up the bottom there. All right. Looks like my tool bit is pretty well lined up right in the very middle of my scribe lines. I actually centered the shaft on each side. I measured it just to find the middle. I don't know if that's going to matter or not. And then I can probably also utilize dial indicators on each side. And I'm just going to play with it and see. I forgot to lock the set screw on the side here, so it was picking up like that. Now let's see if we can touch off. There we go. All right, I'm going to set a 0 because what we want to take is about 7 millimeters on the depth there. It's going to be around 276. Taking 4 thousandths a pass. Alright, that's 100 thousandths there. What we may do now is go ahead and step it over side to side just a bit. Watching my dial indicator down here, that's 200 that it stepped over. I'm just gonna eyeball it, get real close to that line, and then stop it and see where we're at. We'll do the same thing on the other side there. I think I'm gonna leave it right there. 310 thousandths. So let me go back to my 0. Alright, so we should be centered again. I've got my 0 over there. Go into this 0 right here, that'll be 300. Right there. right, that should be our middle. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is go down, yeah, we're going to go down another 100 thousandths. I don't want to load up that tool too much, and this is how I've seen Bill does it too. He kind of steps it. He doesn't try to take it all at one time, and I don't want too much cutting on all three sides of that tool bit, because I've had it load up on me on my practice cuts and really dig in hard. That's halfway there. We're back at the center. I'm going to go another 70 thousandths deep. This will be our third rough pass. Third and final. Alright, we're going to leave it right there. It should be really close to what we need. Okay. Alright, we got it roughed out. Let me get it cleaned up. I'll give you a little tighter shot of what it looks like, just like that. Okay, so here's our roughed out key. Looks like I could have stepped over just a little bit more, but right now we're about, I think it was 19 millimeter whenever I checked it. So we'll go ahead and just put our finishing tool in there and start scraping in the sides, and then we'll get the bottom finished out too. But you know what? I'm happy with the results. Everything is working just like I was hoping that it would. The bar is working good. By the way, I did add another set screw on the end of that bar. If you look at the very center, I added a set screw there so that it would make sure that the tool stays square this way instead of trying to kick out on the return stroke. So with the two set screws, this one and the one on the front, it should keep it seated in the back corner of that tool slot there. Everything is doing good. I'm really happy with the results. So I'm ready to get this thing finished out. Okay, we've got our finishing tool in here now, and I've got everything centered in this bore. I've made sure that first I checked the bar, and we're centered on the bar, but we're also centered the tool bit. The tool bit is actually centered in the bore as well. So I've got it in the center. I've got my dial indicators over here. I've got a 0 and 1, and I've got it preloaded to the other side, the distance that I need to offset that tool. So I'm just working off of a center distance and offsetting it. And just by luck, I ended up grinding this tool 0.366 inches wide, and our keyway is going to finish 0.866, which is 22 millimeter. So that leaves us with a 1/2 inch of key that we've got to cut on each side of this right here. So you split that into two. That's really easy, 250 thousandths. It just landed on 1/4 inch. So what we'll do is we'll offset the key to each side 1/4 inch, but I'll leave it shy about 5 thou on each side and clean it up and measure it and verify that we got to go another 10 thousandths. And first thing I'm going to do is start off and touch the bottom, and we're going to go about 5 thousandths on the bottom. I'll set my compound up here, my tool head, on a 0, and we'll know where we'll down feed to. Okay, let's get going. That's going to be our bottom right there. So now we're going to raise it up. Let's go ahead and bring it out here so it's a little easier to see. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring it to me. 245. Line it right up on my scribe line. Go ahead and gauge the automatic down feed now. Coming up on our depth, we got 5 thousandths. Alright. Yep, that's it right there. Wow, man, that worked great. I'm really happy with that. Alright, so we'll just repeat that. We'll offset it to this side over here now, same distance, 245 off of our center. Alright, that's our center distance right there, so that's our 0. And then we've got this one preloaded on the 250. One, and I'm gonna go 5 thousandths shy. Now, there we go. Looking good. Looks like it's right there on my line. I'll go ahead and get her started. Got the down feeding gauge now. Alright, just about at our zero for the bottom. 10 thousandths. It's going to be the bottom right there. So what I want to do now is go ahead and just measure it and let's see where we're at. See if we got that 10 thousandths to go like I was hoping for. Just about. Looks like we've got 10 and a half, maybe 11 thousandths. I'm gonna say 11. Pretty good. So here's our metric reading. 22.7. We got about 0.3 to go on the width there, millimeter. Alrighty, we're gonna clean up our side there. Got our 5 thousandths cut going on. We got our one side cleaned up. Now we're going to go back to the other side. All right, that's our center. We're still right on it. So we're going to go 1, 2. This lever is actually just a little, seems a little too short to get some good control over the movement for real fine movement. So that's why I just kind of tap it here. There we go. All right, we're getting close to our bottom. All right, I stopped the feed. I'm gonna bump it down by hand, our 5 thou that we want. I think that was it. Let me go till it touches there. There we go. All right, now we're going to be cleaning up our bottom there. Okay, I'm gonna hand feed it over there to our zero. That should be it. So I'm checking the fit using my dual gauge blocks here, and I finally got the blocks fitting the way I need to be. It should be, I'm going to say, within a half a thou. So this is this right here, this stack up is 0.864 inches, and it fits in there nicely. It doesn't fall around, doesn't slide. It just stays right there where you want it at. So I'm going to call that 0.864 wide. So I actually need to take 2 more thousandths out of it, which I'm going to do. I'm just going to do that off camera because I've already shown you what to do here. I'm just going to offset it 2 more thousandths and feed down this side right here. But this is the first time I've used this set of gauge blocks since I got them from Jack. Let me take you over there and show you those for the guys that are wondering. This is how I usually check my keyways whenever I'm milling my keyways in the shafts. It's a really good way to check and verify your widths. This is my set of precision gauge blocks, the Dual brand that I had picked up from Jack. These are very handy to have around the shop. So my target size is 0.866, so I break them down. So you just break them down into the block sizes that you need. So you know, you start with a 0.6. I grabbed a 0.116 and then 150, and that would equal 866. And then I fit it, and if it doesn't go, then you keep dropping 1,000. So I went to the 115, it didn't fit, and then I dropped to the 114. So you got the 114 plus 150 plus 0.8, and that'll give you the 864 size right there. And then you can further verify that with a good set of micrometers. I got this Brown & Sharp Digimic, and we can come in here with this. And it's got 64 right there, 800 thousandths and 64. All right, so that's the set of gauge blocks that I wanted to share. So I'm going to take 2 thousandths out of the side, and then we'll check it again. Hopefully we'll be able to use our 116 and get that gauge block to fit in there. Taking that 2 thousandths out of the side there. Alright, we're going to take our 114 off. We want to go with our 116. There's some oil in there underneath that. Really needs to be cleaned up. Make sure your lapped faces are clean. Stick them on there and then twist them. Turn them 90 degrees and ring them together. Alright, this should be our 866. $66. Like it was machined for it. Man, I couldn't be happier. That looks great. Right on size, our 22 millimeter. Now I did check the depth with my calipers, and from here to here we're at 87.2 millimeters, so that should be good on our depth right there. Very cool. Man, so happy to finally have a successful internal shape being a key, and it's actually on size, man. Very cool. Alrighty guys, I hope you have enjoyed following my first internal keyway. on this shaft coupling right here. So real happy with the results of everything. Our custom bar, our tool grinds, everything just worked out real good. We even got it cut right on size the way I wanted to. So just super happy with the results. All I got left now to do is just take it out of here. I'll file the keyway, get rid of that sharp edge on the corner, and take it back into work. And then I've got 2 set screws that I need to drill and tap. One will be over the key, and then one will be at 90 degrees right here as per the instructions on doing it. So I'm looking forward to be able to do more stuff like this in the future. You know, I'm finally getting my hands wet and learning how this thing is going to operate and how it works. And got to thank the guys for giving me the tips on how to, you know, do an internal cut like that and not have so many problems. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm going to see you again on the next project. All right.